I can't look at my husband after what I did to our daughter. My husband and I have been excited for the longest time anticipating the birth of our daughter. It was a difficult pregnancy and we both had absolutely no clue what the F we were doing. Yet we were the happiest we've ever been. We were about to be parents. We went to the hospital on the 30th to endure labor since she was a few days past her due date and we were just growing anxious. Turns out my blood pressure spiked severely in Jesus. When I say that labor pain is honestly the most excruciating thing in the world, even as someone with a high pain tolerance, I mean that. I'm sorry for that but I had a lot of blood bleeding and I was honestly exhausted by the time I even started pushing. My husband was right with me looking so terrified and I was basically passing to being wheeled back to a room. I kept asking where she was and my husband just told me she was being taken care of and I needed to rest. Apparently, it took longer than normal for me to even wake up when I was coherent enough. I found out there had been some complications. I was like, but she's okay, right? And my husband said yeah, she's perfect. She just needed extra care because of how traumatic the birth was for both of us. My heart rate got dangerously low at 1.2 and my husband was dealing with all of this alone. She stopped breathing and also ingested some fecal matter and it took 15 minutes of chest compression so we could get her back again. My husband decided to wait to tell me this after I had still put on high alert to do my blood pressure and he didn't want me to risk spiking it again, but was a major concern. The doctor told me she was doing well, she's alive, but they can't tell what kind of damage a lack of oxygen might have to her brain. Is she going to be okay? Or how it might affect her in the future? Because it's too early to tell the severity of it. All right, now I just stared at my daughter hooked up to all those tubes and an incubator. I walked to the bathroom and sat on the floor crying for an hour. I feel like I failed her. My one job was to get her into the world safely and I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it right and she might suffer because of it. My husband thinks I'm mad at him for not telling me the truth earlier, but I don't know. He had a similar meltdown to what my family told me while all the doctors were trying to help me as well. I told him, understand. I don't think he believes me. I don't. Just can't. I don't believe me. I don't know if I am doing well, but I feel like a horrible waste of the term mother and wife are in. Don't really know what advice I'm looking for. How do I help my husband? My daughter.